Welcome to your very first coding lesson. So you're going to start learning to code at home with a programming language called Scratch. The website that you will use to get here is scratch.mit.edu, and we're going to hop right in and start creating some computer code today. So if you already have your computer account set up for Scratch, you can just sign in. If you haven't set up that account yet, you can set up an account. If you don't want an account, you can actually just use the create button for today. The only thing is your work won't be saved, so you can't come back and show people how awesome it is. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in with my account. Now that I'm signed in, I'm going to go ahead and press the create button to get started. When I press create, that builds me a brand new computer program. Now I'm going to take you on a very quick tour of Scratch and how it's laid out. So over here on the right, this is almost like your computer screen or your TV screen when you're playing PlayStation or Xbox. This is what the program is and what it does. The middle part here is the brain, and that's where we're going to tell people what to do. We're going to tell this cat or whatever computer character we have, we're going to tell him exactly what to do by putting code in his brain here in the middle. Over here on the left, this is your toolbox. These are all the things that you can put into the cat's brain to tell him what to do. And then down in the bottom left, this shows you all the people that live in your game. So right now we only have this one character that lives in our game, and it is this cat. So that is the basic layout, and we are going to work with that layout to create our very first program. The first thing I want to do is I want to trash that cat. I don't know, you might love that cat. I'm not a cat person. Get out of here, cat. See ya. So now our computer game has 0 characters, right? It's a blank window to the world. There's nobody that lives in this window, and there's no brain. So what I want to do is I want to add what's called a new sprite. So they call in Scratch, every character that you add to the game is called a sprite. And down here, you have this little cat button. If you press that button, you are going to add a new sprite or a new character. So you don't have to pick the same one that I'm going to pick. Just grab one that looks really cool. A dragon. So I'm going to take and resize it. Congratulations, you've got your very first character in your game. Now we are going to write this dragon's brain. So we're going to tell him exactly what he's supposed to do. He's not very smart. He doesn't have any clue what he's supposed to do right now. And just take a look at his brain. You can kind of see it's his brain because it's got a little grayed out image of that dragon here. And this is what's happening in his brain. Absolutely nothing. So try to spice it up a little bit. Over here on the far left, I like to go to my toolbox and the yellow events button right here. There are a lot of events that you can teach him to respond to. So I will take this when the green flag is clicked, and I'm going to drag that out onto his brain. So think of the green flag as the play button, like when you start the game. So when somebody says that they want to start this game, what are we going to tell this dragon to do? Probably the coolest thing is I'm going to grab a sound. So over here in the purple, I'm going to make him play a sound. And so you have a couple different options here. I am going to start the magic spell sound. So now if you want to give this a shot, you have just written your first program. Now if you need to pause this video, go ahead and pause me. I'll be right here when you come back. When the green flag is clicked, he should play a sound. Gorgeous. Look at that. We have programmed a dragon, right? That's his brain. When you press a button, he makes a sound. So you can press that all day. I'm glad you're at home and not in my classroom pressing that all day long. Listen to that sound too many times. But let's see if we can make him even better. Let's see if we can have him talk to us. So I'm going to go over here to the purple, and up above the purple, you have a looks block that's a little more bluish. I don't really know what color you would call that. Bluish purple. And I want him to say something. So let's grab this block. Now it's very important the order that you put these things in. So he literally follows instructions. First things first, next things next. He goes straight in the line. And you have to kind of build these things like Lego. So you're going to make sure it gets close enough to snap on. And now when I press this button, he says the word hello for 2 seconds. Of course, you can change that if you would like. But watch what happens if you get his instructions kind of turned around. If you told him to say hello for 2 seconds and then play the spell, that changes your program. right? And so he does the hello. It takes 2 seconds for that speech bubble to go away before he begins that sound. I like it this other way better. But again, customize that, make it say whatever you want it to say. So again, if you need to pause the video, pause and build that program up, boss around that dragon, and then come back and we will add some movement. Now what we have here is we've got this amazing part of the program that says what to do when the green flag is clicked, but there are other events we can use. So if I come back over to the yellowish events tab, now what I have is underneath when green flag is clicked, I also have this really cool option that says when space is pressed. And it kind of lies to you because it looks like the only thing this can do is listen to the space bar. But if you hit that drop down, you can actually program him to listen to whatever button I want him to listen to. So I could say, let's say the right arrow. So that just means I'm going to tell this dragon, of course I'm in his brain, I'm going to tell him exactly what I want him to do when somebody presses the right arrow key on their keyboard. So let's go over to motion, the very top blue one, and there are all sorts of ways you can train your dragon to move. I want to train him to turn. So when the right arrow is pressed, he will turn to the right by 15 degrees, which is not a huge turn, but let's try it out. So I'm going to run the program. It says hello, and every time, you can't see me pressing my arrow, but I'm pressing my right arrow, and he turns to the right. Now if I hold that down, you can have some fun with him. Now unfortunately, he's not very smart. It would make sense that he turns right when I press the right arrow. When I press the left arrow, ain't nothing happening because I haven't taught him to do that. So let's spice this up a little bit. Let's give our dragon all the controls you need to drive him around. So I'm going to repeat that process. So his brain is going to get pretty full. So when the right arrow is pressed, he turns one way. When the left arrow is pressed, I would like for him to turn the other direction. And at least this way I can spin him. Right, that's nice. I can spin him both directions. The only problem is I can't move him. So let's go back to events. Let's grab another one of these code blocks. And let's tell him, okay, so you got left, you got right, and you have up. And when I go to my motion here, I actually want him to be able to move. Now, when I tell him to move a few steps, now a step is teeny tiny me-niney. So like one step you wouldn't even notice. So you can play with how many steps you want him to move every time you press up. So you can make him faster or smaller by making him take more steps. And that's amazing. He will take steps and move in whatever direction he's facing. So if he's looking kind of down, catty-cornered, he will take steps in that direction. So here it comes. I'm really tired of this magic spell sound. I'm going to take that out for right now. So he says, hello. And here it comes. I'm going to press the up arrow. So if I press the up arrow again and again and again, so you can see how big 10 steps is. It's not huge, but now I've got a remote controlled dragon, which is pretty great since when we started, his brain was totally empty and he didn't know how to do anything. So, I think we're making some progress here, right? You got your own remote controlled dragon or whatever sprite that you have used. So think about how awesome this is. You have one sprite in your program. That sprite has a lot of things in his brain, and then you can watch your program run over here. So pause the video if you need to catch up and make sure that your remote control dragon can drive around the screen. So here's what we are going to do. We are going to add in another sprite or another character to make this computer program or game look a little more fun. So again, if I want to add in another sprite, I just come down here to this little button and I'm just going to press this cat button. And now I've got all sorts of items. So you pick whatever it is you want. What else should live in a world with a dragon? Probably a dog in an astronaut suit, because that's exactly what should be in a world with my dragon. So I'm just going to put him on the screen. His name is Dot. So I've got somebody named Dragon, somebody named Dot. Now Dot is bigger than the dragon, so I'm going to come down here and I'm going to change his size. I'm going to put in like 30. That's a little small. I'm going to put in 50. Okay. Now, this is where things get a little confusing because you have to make sure you are in the right person's brain, right? So notice Dot is highlighted down here. That sprite is the one that's selected. And also his brain, you'll notice it's totally blank. Poor Dot has nothing in his brain. And you can tell you're in Dot's brain because you see an image of him here in the brain. So we actually already told the dragon exactly what to do in his brain. Now we just need to tell this dog what to do. So my favorite way to start a program, I really like the events tab and what to do when the game starts, when the green flag is clicked. So once I have that, then let's make this dog be, I don't know, a little more interesting. So let's go to motion again up at the top. Now again, we already know how move works, turning works, that's pretty cool. Let's try this guy. So this says when I click the flag, he just goes somewhere random. Eeny, meeny, miny, random, right? So if I just keep clicking the green flag over and over again, every time I click it, you never know where that dog's gonna go. So Dot just kind of teleports to any random spot on your screen, which is pretty cool. Now that's not fun because it only happens like the one time when you start the game. So what we are going to do is we are going to make him do this kind of forever. So get ready, this is gonna look really strange. Over in the control, so if you go to the orange thing in your toolbox over here, and if you grab forever. Now look, forever kind of looks like a dinosaur, like kind of he's got a mouth, he's only got one tooth, right? So it looks like it looks like it could eat somebody. So what I want to do is I want to take the go-to block here, I want to feed it to that dinosaur. Watch that. See how you get it close and it opens its mouth and it just chomps down on it. And then I'm going to connect that to my green flag. So this is going to look really strange. When I press this green flag, I'm in the brain of the dog. The dog will just over and over and over again go to a random position. And so this is what's called a loop. He will just continue doing that over and over and over. So here it comes. You ready? When I hit run, he kind of has a little bit of a party going on. So that's interesting, and that, you know, if that's what you want your dog to do, that's cool. But here's what I would love to do. I would love to play a game of tag, so we can drive the dragon around. And I would like for the dragon, going to try to drive the dragon to run into the dog. So the dog's going to go somewhere and then wait for the dragon to come catch him, kind of like hide and seek. If you scroll down about halfway in control, there's this block here that says wait until. And we're going to drag him out and then go down to the sensing block, which is kind of that light blue. And you'll start to notice that these shapes match up. So this wait until block has a hexagon shape that's just waiting for something to go into that spot. And this first block, the touching block, will fit perfectly because it's a hexagon shape as well. And the only kind of trick is you have to get your mouse pointer into the spot and it will light up. So lots of times kids are trying to put in the other edge of the thing or the middle of it. You have to kind of take your mouse straight to the spot where it's going to drop. I want to wait until I'm touching the dragon. And then I'm going to put that, and again, the order and the sequence is really important. I'm going to put the wait until before the go to. So let's test out your program. You want to press the green flag, and then you want to start pressing your arrow keys to drive your dragon around. So that dog's just kind of chilling, and he's waiting until the dragon gets there. Now watch this. The moment the dragon touches him, he's done waiting, he teleports somewhere random. But then he's going to keep doing that forever. He's going to wait and teleport. And wait and teleport. Awesome. So now it's almost like a game, right? It's a dragon that chases, it's hide and go seek with a dragon and a dog in a spacesuit, right? Or whatever sprites you have used. Again, you don't have to use the dragon, you don't have to use the dog, you can use whatever sprites to customize it any way you want to, which is what I love about Scratch. You can make whatever you want. We're out of time for today's lesson, but congratulations, you have just created your very first computer program. Keep coming back for more video tutorials, and you will be a master programmer before you know it. I'll see you in the next video.